All right, great. So there's there's a grouping system we quickly want to adopt. If you can find your name on the group quickly, let's group together. I have 4 groups there, and I would like you to join the group where you can find your name. So there are 4 groups there. I can see you clearly, so I would like you to move to your group. There's group A, group B, group C, group D. In group A, I have Thomas Kindness. Can I see Thomas Kindness? Thomas Kindness, are you there? Okay, please get into your category, get into your group. Hope you can see the group. Get into your group. Ensure you get to your group, everybody. Pardon me if I make any mistake with the spelling of your name. Just try to be in your group. Amarachi Jude is not in any group. Amarachi Jude is not in any group. Amarachi Jude is going to be our scorer because we are going straight into a competition now. And Amarachi Jude will be the one to record for us. So Amarachi Jude, get your book. You have to have the group A, group B, group C, group D. You are the Amarachi Jude is the recorder. Our mommy Choma is the special guest. We're there to observe how we are able to compete very well in this. Are we good to go now? Are we in all our groups now? To stay in that group throughout this section, we are going to stay in that group, and we will be taking so many things that will involve our group. The first one now is a quiz competition involving the group. And so I'm going to start from group 1, from group A. Please choose from number 1 to 8. Any question? Group A. Group A. Group A. Choose a question, number 1 to 8.
7.
Question 7. Great. Let's go to question 7. Question 7. Okay, let me share the screen so that you can also read it as well. It's easier for you that way. So this is question 7. So are you ready? Group A, the instructional decision making through which a teacher creates to address students' diverse readiness levels, interests, and learning preferences. Group 7, that is your question. If you can't hear me, I hope someone can reread from the screen over there. It says the instructional decision making through which a teacher creates varied learning options to address students' diverse readiness levels, interests, and learning preferences is termed what? Group 7. Group 7. Time up. Group B. What? What did you say?
Induction.
Induction. Group A.
Induction. From Group A.
Okay, the question from Group A. So what do you say is the answer? You can write the answer, you can type the answer in the chat box for me. Director, you can help them to type the answer. Let me know what they say. I can't hear them clearly. Or you can use the WhatsApp. You can use the WhatsApp of the director for me. Just type, no problem. What do you call the answer? I'm waiting, no problem. Just use any means to get to me.
Set induction.
Segregation. Did you say segregation?
Set induction.
Set induction.
Set induction. Is that? Okay. It's all right. I can see. I've seen that. I'm afraid that is not the correct answer. Set induction is not the correct answer. Set induction is not the correct answer. So we go to group. No guessing. Group B, your bonus. Group B, bonus for you. Group C, bonus for you. Exploration. No. Group D.
Evaluation.
You are just guessing. I'm going to penalize you for guessing. The answer is differentiation. Differentiation. That is the correct answer. Differentiation. Did you get that? The answer from differentiate, you get differentiation. Where we are able to differentiate learners, we are, look at the question, say the instructional instruction through which a teacher creates varied learning options to address students' diverse, you can see diverse, that is where differentiation comes in there. Readiness level, interest, and learning preferences. That is differentiation. Hope we've got that. I move to group B. We will still talk a lot about all this shortly. Group B, question 1 to 8. Question 7 taken.
5.
Question 5. Okay, here we go. Group B, your question. The most popular model that describes the different levels of objective that can be achieved in a lesson is called what? The most popular model that we use to get our learning objective, where did we get it from? It's from a particular educator, educationist. I've helped you to break it down now. So we use the name of the educationist to call that model. Group B. From knowledge to understanding, you know that. So what do we call that model? Teachers. Group B. Group B, I'm waiting. My record keeper, are you there? I can't get anything from group B. Do I take it as 0? Amarachi Jude, you are my record keeper. What is happening? Situation reports. Okay, group B, can I hear your answer? I can hear you now. What?
We can hear you from here.
Shout it.
You can't hear me.
No, not you. We're talking about the
Come on, let
person
me
who
answer.
wants to
Come on, let me answer.
All right, group B, come and tell me your answer. Tell me your answer, please. What do you call it? Just pronounce it. I will pick it. If it's the correct answer, it's easy for me.
So, behavioral objectives.
I said that's our behavioral objectives. That's our learning objective. We actually took it from a popular model. We studied it in NCE. We studied it in teacher grade 2, PGD. It is there. That told us that the lowest level we can take is recollection of facts, knowledge. What do we call that cascade, that model?
Is it a bonus now to the next group?
Yes, Amarachi Jude, you are in charge. Whatever you do, you are in charge.
All right. The answer is Bloom's taxonomy.
Correct. Bloom's taxonomy. Round of applause for that bonus answer. Round of applause, everybody. I want to get. You are not clapping. You are not clapping. That is Bloom's taxonomy. Fantastic. Let's move to Group C. Group C, your question number 1 to 8. Quickly.
Number 3.
Question number 3.
Thank you. Wow. When is evaluation carried out in the course of a lesson? This one needs just one response, no guessing. The moment you say it is the last option. So think well, agree well before telling the answer. When is evaluation carried out in the course of a lesson? Group C, that is your question. When do we carry out evaluation during a lesson, during teaching? I will be surprised if this question cannot be answered.
Okay,
Yes,
can we? The evaluation is carried out towards the end of the lesson.
Wrong. Evaluation is carried out throughout a lesson period, right from the beginning till the end. So, and that is why we are putting that question there deliberately. Evaluation is not what you do just at the end of a lesson. It's what you do throughout the course of a lesson. Right from the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the lesson, evaluation is ongoing. Hope we are learning straight away. Group D. Group D. Number 4. All right. Can you read the screen from me? Is it possible for you to read? Is it visible? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Classify the following documents into long-term plan, short-term plan, and mid-term plan. I have 3 documents there: a lesson plan, a curriculum, a scheme of work. Which is a long-term plan? Which is a short-term plan? Which is a medium-term plan? Yes, this should not take our time at all. This should not take our time. Group D. Group D. I'm waiting for you, Group D. Don't let your time. Okay.
Curriculum is the long-term plan.
Correct.
Then the scheme of work
Is what?
then the lesson plan is the short term.
Correct. The curriculum is a long-term plan. And so the duration for a curriculum is more than the duration for a scheme of work. You know, when we do scheme of work, is for a section, there is a first-term scheme of work, second term scheme of work, and third term scheme of work. But when it comes to lesson plan, it is actually based on a weekly basis. We say lesson plan for the week ending. So that means lesson plan is a short-term plan, curriculum is a long-term plan, and the scheme of work is a short-term plan. That's a beautiful one. Hope we know we are assessing the school as a whole from your responses. And this is an opportunity for us to learn and get better. Group A, we are back to you. I think this is an opportunity to redeem gain ground, lost ground. Group A.
Number 2.
Group A, 1 to 8.
2.
Let's go. Wow. Can you see the question? Can you read the question? Mention the 3 types of learners according to their learning styles that you may have in a class. This is a very simple question. Mention the 3 types of learners according to their learning styles that you may have in a class.
Answer is, we have slow learners.
Slow
we have
learners,
fast learners.
fast learners, and then we have crawling learners. 0 for you. Take a look at the question. I'm still giving you an opportunity. I said, mention the 3 types of learners according to their learning styles. I didn't say according to their learning speed. According to their learning styles. Now give it one more try before another group gets the bonus. I'm waiting. Group A. All right. Our chairman has said time out. Group B, bonus.
Group
Anybody that wants to say it, come out. Let us say you.
Yes.
Show your color.
Yeah. I'm representing
Group D.
Group C.
Okay, Group C. Okay.
Yeah. The answer is the visual learners, auditory learners, and the kinesthetic learners.
Correct. A round of applause for Group C. A round of applause for Group C. Teachers, please let us be taking notes. The training has started. Don't wait. The training has started. I need you to start taking notes. There are basically 3 types of learners in any class. When we are using the these learners, they only learn best when sorry, can you hear me now? Like I lost you there. Can you hear me now? I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Wow. All right. So there are
Yes.
three types of learners. We have the visual learners. These are learners that learn best when you present items to them for them to see. The other type of learners are the audio learners. They learn best when they hear. Audio is for hearing.
On the screen, the big screen.
Uh-oh. Wow, this is... Still, you cannot hear me, but I can hear you. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so let me change. Okay, I was talking about the types of learners, and I said we have visual learner, audio learners, and I was at audio learners. These are learners that learn best when they hear. When you present something for them, for their hearing, that is where the teacher's voice comes very handy here. So a teacher must have good voice audibility and good voice modulation. It's not only to shout or speak loud. You must be able to modulate your voice appropriately. I give an instance. We are doing a comprehension passage, and then we go, and the ball ran into the road and was hit by a car. Oh my God. And he died. Then, if you are just reading without modulation, you will lose your audio learners. Audio learners also respond to things like, to devices like radio, MP3. Yes, it attracts them. Then we have the last type, which we call the kinesthetics. These are learners that learn best when they are involved in their learning. There are hands-on activity for them to do. They cut paper, and they are able to, let me see. Can you see me from here now? Okay. Are we good?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So we've talked about the three types of audio learning. So can we move on to group B, or which group? Group C now. Question 3. Okay, let's check out 2, 3. Let's look at question 3. Question 3. Question 3 is done.
Five.
All right. We are there. State the 5 components of differentiation. Now, I'll give you a bonus there. You don't need to state up to 5. If you can state 2 or 3, I'll give you this. Component of differentiation. Today, we have learned about the meaning of differentiation. How you differentiate things in the class to help your learning. So what are those things you differentiate in a class? I've helped you. We have components of differentiation. So what? There are 5 of them, but if you can give me 2 or 3, you get full mark.
Yes, we have content.
Wonderful. Let's go. Number 2. And you have said content. Number 2.
Products.
Products. Number 3. You mentioned something earlier. It's still fine. Content, products, and what? Come on, you can do it. It's like I didn't hear something you said. I had content.
Process. Products.
Correct. So we can differentiate. Let's give that group a round of applause. Let's give that group a round of applause. So we can differentiate. Please let's pay attention now. We can differentiate content, process, products, affect, and the environment. What do we mean? In a class, we have different categories of learners. Like someone said earlier, he said we have slow learners, fast learners, crawling learners. Now we can differentiate learning. We can differentiate the learning for the children by differentiating content. That is, in a class, we want to teach 1 to 20. But we know that there are learners there that cannot meet up 1 to 20. They can only do 1 to 15. There are others, they can do 1 to 10. There are some, they can do 1 to 20. And in that same class, there are some can do 1 to 30. As a teacher, standard practice gives you room to differentiate the content for each learner. You know, as at this point in time, child A cannot push up to 20. Push that child to 15. Another set of students, push them 20. Then the high attendance, don't limit them. They are ready to go. If you come across British curriculum books, there is a portion of the books, they will always say, extension activities. These are activities for learners who have already met up with your learning objective. So instead of slowing them down, we extend. And so you can see from that sample, you have differentiated content. We can differentiate process. Process is how we teach. We have come to understand that there are some learners that learn best using visual aids, and others using audio aids, and others using the kinesthetic method. When you provide opportunities for video, for audio, for kinesthetic. Hello? Can you hear me? Wow. Are we following? Please let me know if you are following. Can't get any feedback from you. Yes, are we following?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to be sure I'm not speaking into empty air. So we can see, we can differentiate process when we vary the different styles in a class. We make available opportunity for video, for audio, for hands-on activities. What we are doing is we are differentiating pedagogy. We are differentiating process. Are we following? Now, we can also differentiate products. What is product? The final outcome, the evaluation. So, if you have differentiated content for a set of students to learn 1 to 15, another set of students to learn 1 to 20, another set of students to learn 1 to 30. It is ideal that when you are evaluating them, you cannot evaluate them. You cannot evaluate them on the same premises. You have to evaluate them based on the extent of the content. And that is why we said you can also differentiate by product. Another component of differentiation is the environment. Look at the environment we are now. We have done grouping. Going by this method, we are able to make some learners even learn better. You can discover that through the group work, you were compelled to talk among yourself. And so even that time that does not talk in the class. Because of this environment, we created the child to talk. And then we have somebody presenting. So we can differentiate environment. You differentiate by using seat arrangement and various other strategies for learning. Let's move on. The final group for the quiz competition, I think group D.
Group C.
Okay, let's go.
Group C, question number 2.
Okay, let's see. All right. Assessment learning. Are we there? Differentiate between summative assessment and formative assessment. What is the difference between a formative assessment and a summative assessment? Group C. Is this where I finally nailed Group C?
All right. We are ready. We are ready.
Okay.
Sharing is unbalanced.
All right. The
Hello, sir.
difference between
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
yeah, good day.
Can I have another person making that presentation for your group?
Answer too much. We're supposed to be interactive.
The difference between formative assessment and summative is that informative assessment is ongoing. It helps the student to focus as the lecture is going on. Whereas summative is at the end of the topic.
At the end of
the lesson, that is summative. But formative is ongoing as the lesson is going on.
I can hear you. I'm just trying to. Okay, wait. Give me an example of a formative assessment and an example of a summative assessment.
Okay, no. For example, if I'm teaching the arms of government, I think if I'm teaching the arms of government, so I mentioned the arms of government, which is the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary.
Okay.
As I'm teaching the lesson, I can accept it by asking them questions based on that. The lesson is still going on. It's not the end of the lesson. The lesson is still going on. And I ask them questions on that. So that's formative. It's just as the lesson is going on, I throw a question to assess them. Whereas summative is at the end of that particular lesson. And
I want to give you an opportunity. 1 minute. Go back to your book and articulate your response. Okay, one more response on group C.
That's one more response from Group C.
Okay. I'm going to give Group C 3 points. I don't not total points. Oh, Amarachi. Are you doing your work?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Continue to talk.
A project given to the students.
Okay.
It could be a form of some project given to the students. I'm just giving you instances. Text, midterm project, the examples of what?
Midterm project is an example of
Wait now.
allow All right, let's stop. Group C, out of 5 points, I'm going to give you 3 points. So the 2 points is still awaiting bonus, correct bonus. So who is going for it? You can go back, Group C. Go and sit down. Go and sit down. Thank you. Thank you. Group D, Group B, Group A. Who is coming? 2 points awaiting.
All right, sir. In formative assessment,
Yes,
quiz
sir.
and test that evaluate someone quiz and test that evaluate someone is the learning material in the learning material throughout a course. Example is the weekly quiz. We can have like a weekly quiz or a good work.
Correct.
But in summative assessment, there are quizzes that test and evaluate how much someone has learned throughout a course. Example is like final essays or final projects.
Correct. Correct. 2 points for that group. That's the bonus. So let's learn. Let's learn. Formative assessment can also be called assessment for learning. AFL. Assessment for learning. You can check that on the internet. Summative assessment can also be referred to as assessment of learning. AOL. Can you see the difference? One, that is formative, is assessment for learning. The other is assessment of learning. Let me give you an instance. Your mother-in-law has come to visit, and then as a wife, you are cooking in the kitchen. As you are cooking, you put salt, you taste it in your mouth. If the salt is not enough, what do? Everybody. You add more. Thank you. Why are you adding more? To improve the taste. Now, when you take the food to your mother-in-law, she will pass judgment. At that point, you can no longer improve the taste. The woman will tell you, you are a good cook or you are a bad cook. Now, which is assessment for learning in this story? Is it the one in the kitchen or the one before the mother-in-law? Assessment for learning.
The one before the mother-in-law.
No. It is that one in the kitchen. Anything you are doing that can still help a learner, before you present the learner for exam, like end of term exam is judgmental, but classwork, homework is not judgmental, because when they do classwork, they score 3/5. You do correction, you give another work similar to that, so that they can do better. That is why we call those assessments formative. They are helping you to help the learner to improve. Are we following? So, what type of assessment is JAMB? JAMB. Is it formative or summative? Correct. We are learning. So, WAEC, assessment of learning or assessment for learning? AOL or AFL? AOL. Wonderful. We are learning. All right, let's move. Group D, your question is coming from me. You cannot choose, unfortunately. So are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the material we use to get content for the class, what do we call them in your lesson plan? Very simple question. I'm waiting for you. Group D. You are muted. Please unmute. Unmute. You will need to unmute. I can't hear you. Okay, yes, fine. Group D, where you get various content to use in your lesson, what do you refer to them as? In your lesson plan, there is a portion where you are expected to indicate where you got the material. I've answered this question. Hi. Step front, step forward, step forward. Reference. Reference. So, correct. So that's your reference material. And so that can be pages from a textbook, a web address, YouTube link, and different sources. All right. We are moving. Reference, correct. We are moving to the next activity. And now we are all going to prepare a lesson plan, and there will be a presentation of the lesson. So get 2 cardboard for each group. I requested that before the program. Each group get 2 cardboard ready now, as we will be taking some enlightenment, which I will be checking out in your presentation. We are looking at understanding, lesson planning, and delivery. Lesson planning and delivery. Are we following? Do we have our cardboards? Yes, do we have our cardboard? So now you have to group together. In that group, we are going to make a very good lesson plan following the format you use in your school. I'm not changing anything, but we want to see some improvement. I have had one beautiful statement today. Somebody mentioned set induction, and that makes me believe that it is part of your lesson plan in your school. Am I correct? Do we have set induction in the lesson plan you draw week in, week out? A lesson plan has major component, no matter the format. Number one, a lesson plan is designed for the learner So a lesson plan is about who, what, how, why. I take that again. A lesson plan is about who, what, why, how. So, in our lesson plan, there is this first portion where we talk about class, age range. What we are doing there is to identify who the lesson plan is meant for. It's meant for GSS2 students. It's meant for the early years. Of what age range? Of what abilities? So I want to see this reflecting effectively in the lesson plan you are going to present. Another component that is paramount is why. This is what we call the behavioral objective. In some other places, they now call it learning objectives, LO. Whatever it is, that part describes what you intend to achieve by the end of the lesson. Take note, not at the end of the lesson, but by the end of the lesson. Can I have someone from group B explain the implication of by the end and at the end? Group B. You are muted. You need to unmute. Group B, we are waiting for you. Group B. That is 0 for group B. Group A. Have I lost you guys? Group A. So, what's the implication of by the end of the lesson and at the end of the lesson? Okay,
I'm
I'm
waiting.
waiting. I asked a question and I want a group to answer that. What is the implication of by the end of the lesson and at the end of the lesson? We write in our lesson objective or behavioral objective that by the end of this lesson, or do you write at the end of this lesson? Which do you write? At the end. So I'm asking, what do you think is the implication of those terminology by the end, at the end? Okay, let's move on. If we say at the end, typically, so it is important for us to understand when we list our objectives. And when we say by the end, when we say at the end, remember I asked a question during the quiz. I said, when do we carry out evaluation? And then somebody said at the end, I said it is wrong. Why? Because in the course of a lesson, it is not until the end of that lesson that you achieve your objective. You achieve various objectives at various times. For instance, in this engagement I'm having with you, I have my objectives. And those objectives are already being achieved, even though we have not got to the end. So by the end, we would have achieved all the objectives. If almost all, if not all. That is what we mean by the end of the lesson. Another issue I want to see in your lesson plan reflecting, which you will be submitting and displaying by 3:30, just in 5 minutes time, is differentiation. Remember, we have talked about differentiation today during our quiz competition. How will your lesson show differentiation? Remember, we talked about, I will leave it to that 3 for you. I want your lesson to reflect differentiation by product, by content, and by process. So I need you to start working as a group now. You want to present a lesson plan and a lesson delivery that will be the best out of all these 4 groups now. So agree as a group, which subject do you want to write lesson plan on? What topic will you write on? I'm going to leave you now for the next 15 minutes to come up with your plan and representative to do your lesson delivery. I'll be watching out for your differentiation strategy. For your set induction, in best practice, we call set induction starting activity, starter activity. What activity will you use to start the lesson? Was there a starter activity for this, my presentation, everybody? Was there a starter activity for my presentation? Yes. I want to see in your own presentation, what starter activity are you going to use for that topic you have chosen? I want to see your learner's profile. Who are you teaching? So that I can check if what you are presenting is appropriate for them. So we can start as a group. We can start our group presentation now, our group work. I want us to present a lesson plan. We are going to judge the lesson plan and the lesson delivery. Each group will do lesson delivery of just 10 minutes and we'll be done for the day. Start. While you are doing it, I will be giving various hints for you that I want to see that can help your own. Remember to make use of the internet. It is so while you are on, I will sign out to sign back in again so that we can clarify other technical issues still affecting the presentation.
No problem. But I don't think it's from this end.
Because I can also see you clearly. That's why I'm wondering why.
You have to and start using mobile because of network.
Agree on the subject, agree on the topic, agree on the learners you want to teach. We have talked about reference materials. What instructional materials do you want to use? I want to see them reflecting in your lesson plan. And we talk of assessment for learning. What appropriate assessment for learning strategies are you adopting? I am watching you, how you are participating. It is a group work, not individual work.
You said 10 minutes.
I can still see some of us just sitting down, not participating. I know all the group. Participation is part of the score for your group. You must participate. This is opportunity for us to share. We must learn. In the 21st century class, collaboration is important. No man is an island of knowledge. Learn from others. Share. That gentleman in blue and white near the pole. Is that group C? These are 8 criteria we look at when taking lesson plan. We want to see that the learners are sometimes entertained. It must also show good learning environment. There is maximum learner participation. The teacher is flexible. The materials are suitable and well prepared. The lesson has realistic and achievable objectives. So as you are preparing your plan, check for these 8 projects. They are realistic and achievable aims. Appropriate activities for the learners. Variety of activities and interaction types. The teacher flexible. In 3 minutes, we start to make our and on the screen are the various things I will be checking. All right. Who's of the group is ready? Group A, what are you presenting? What's your lesson about? What subject? What class?
English.
Okay, this is what we are going to do. We'll continue to make the preparation, but just pay attention to my breaking shots. Then we'll look at how we can make our presentation and create time. in the 21st century learning space, it is important to note that there are some skills that are expected of us to have. And I'll start from the early years, which we call the nursery. As a competent nursery teacher, there are areas of competence that are very crucial in this 21st century. Number one, phonics competence. If you are teaching in the nursery and you don't have competence in the area of phonics, then you have a professional development need in that area. As a nursery teacher, you must have competence in the area of handwriting. As a matter of fact, as a school, we must have our own handwriting style. What handwriting style are we using in English? Is it Nelson, cursive, handwriting style? If, as a teacher in the nursery section, you do not have a defined handwriting style, there is a professional development need. There is a missing thing in your career as a teacher in the early years. Number three, please remember, at this point I'm addressing teachers in the early years. You can see terminologies, you can hear terminologies I'm using. Say early years, talk of the nursery. Please, phonics competence, handwriting competence. We are no longer in the era where children copy out the handwriting of a teacher. There are handwriting styles. We have print handwriting. In print handwriting, the letters do not join. They stay alone. We have Nelson. We have cursive. So, as a teacher in that early years environment, which of these handwriting styles can you master? As we are going for our holiday, let us not use the holiday just to be sleeping. Let us use it to improve any of the competent areas you can identify as missing in your career. Number four, you must be conversant with various curriculum for the early years. In Nigeria, there are two very popular curriculum. See, when I see the name of the school, and I see, I saw international school, what comes to mind is what makes our school international. The name of a school is a school is not international by name. You are international by what you offer. So, as teachers in the early years, what international curriculum are you aware of? We have the Montessori. We have the EYFS. The EYFS, that is the British curriculum for the early years. We call it early years foundation stage. That is where we have EYFS. Are you conversant with that? If not, it is an area you must master as a teacher in the early years. Jolly fondness is something that is common in our environment now. What is your competence level when it comes to phonics awareness and teaching of phonics to children in the early years? Across other sectors, primary, secondary, what certification can you provide if you claim that you are working in an international school? Are we following? So it is important for us to have required certifications and expertise in the area where we are teaching. There are certifications for primary English. You are a master when it comes to teaching lower primary English, lower primary mathematics, upper primary English, upper primary mathematics. Let me share with you. As you are going on this holiday, you can make research on the British curriculum and see the area you can improve yourself. I have mentioned for the early year, the British curriculum for the early year is EYFS. Early years foundation stage. For the lower primary, it is called Key Stage 1, KS1. KS1. Are we following? For the upper primary, it is KS2, Key Stage 2. For GSS, that's GSS 1 to GSS 3. It is KS3, Key Stage 3. For the SS, SS1 to SS3, it is KS4. So I'm giving you a holiday project. I need you to come back and give us an overview of the curriculum requirements for the subjects, for the class you are teaching, as compared to the British curriculum. Let us look at what ingredients can we add to our school to really make it international, as the nomenclature is. When we get this homework done, we will, as a school, be able to move beyond whatever we have been offering. Do not think that this opportunity is available everywhere. It is the law to develop the school. It is the law to develop the school. And before we can develop the school, we must develop the individual teachers. And that is the purpose of this training section we are getting. This is not going to be the end. It is just the beginning. We are going to improve on the platform. We are going to see how it can be easier for us to engage. It's a continuous professional development program for us. So as we are going on holiday, I have set before you a task. I'm setting before you a task. And the task is that you should go and look at the curriculum as I have given out in your own subject. And you are able to let us see the difference you can bring as we begin a new term. It is on this note that I will be pausing for this section. Meanwhile, we have an ongoing task. The group work, the lesson plan we want to develop and present. So our director is going to liaise with me to know when we are going to do our presentation. Should we leave it till when we come back from holiday, or we are going to look at it that while we are on holiday, we set a day to engage from wherever we are. So our director will communicate with me. But I will open up the last 7 minutes before 4 o'clock now for questions and answers.
You requested for questions from you. About me. Tell me.
When next will be available?
That's resumption. That's resumption. That is why we are doing this now, right? So by resumption, right? The resultant effect of this seminar now is happening. Can you hear us?
I'm following. Yes.
Okay. They said that you are requesting for when they would have to present their reports.
Yes.
That will be a resumption.
Okay. But I want
okay, some
hello.
If there's anyone who is ready for this, any group that is ready. Group T, if you are ready, please.
Director, let me make this, let's do it this way. Upon the first week of resumption, the group will still have opportunity to meet again. Then we will set a day in that first week of resumption for this lesson plan, presentation, and lesson delivery properly. So if we resume on a Monday, we can make it a Thursday or Friday, so that the group will have had the opportunity to meet, and then they will be able to present something really excellent. But if we are given that amount of time, our expectation will be very high because we know they have had enough time. How about that?
Yes, that is, we can work on, we can do that. But I think there's a group that is ready for presentation. There's a group ready for presentation right now.
Okay, if it is fine with you, it's fine with me.
Yeah, it's fine with us. Please, the group that is ready to present.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
For group D. Please, let's clap for group D. Group D is presenting.
All right, I'm watching.
Okay. I am representing Group D, and of course we have our instructional materials and other things. Our lesson plan is on mathematics, and today's date is 5th.
Continue.
Today's date is 5th of February 2021.
Okay.
And the ages of students in our class are between 12 years.
Okay.
And the class is JSS1.
Okay.
And the topic we want to treat is solid shapes.
Your previous knowledge, please. What's your previous knowledge? What's the previous knowledge?
Okay, the students should have seen objects like orange, Maggie cube, and
Correct.
matches.
That's good. That's great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Your learning objective. So we can hear from them. Yeah, your learning objective. Yes.
Okay, by the end of this lesson, the student will be able to identify and mention different solid shapes around the class and around the environment.
Okay.
Okay. Students will be able to appreciate solid shapes around their home and the school environment as well.
Appreciate. I'm flagging that. I'm flagging that. That is a flag, a red flag. There is no, appreciate is not measurable. So we don't accept that word. Move on.
That's my affective dimension.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right, so my psychomotive domain, the student will be able to construct shapes like circle, triangle, rectangle, cone, and the rest.
Okay, let's move on.
Sir?
Move on.
Okay. So our required instructional material is a textbook. Textbook just to show the shape of it. This looks like a cuboid.
Okay.
We also have mobile phones, which also look like a cuboid.
Okay.
We have a water plant, which looks like a cylinder.
Okay.
We also have plain paper, which also look like a rectangle.
Okay.
We also have scissors and razor that will enable us to construct the
So
shapes.
let's go to presentation.
In the class.
Step 1.
I should continue.
Yes.
Okay. In my step 1, I'll be dividing the class into 4 groups.
Okay.
And to ask the student different shapes using plain sheets. So I'll be telling them, I'll be giving them, each of the group will have a particular shape they need to carve out for us.
So that's your starter activity. That's your set induction.
So I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you, sir.
I said that will be your starter activity.
I didn't hear you.
I said will that be your starter activity, your set induction.
Yes.
Correct. So I hope we are all learning. So it is not the first set is not teacher comes in and say today is math, bring out your book. No, there is an activity. Beautiful one. Let's continue. Go. Beautiful. Step 2.
I should continue. All right. In my step 2, the teacher collects the shape that the student has carved and starts identifying. Look at the shapes here, just like this one. This is like a circle, and this is like a cone, and this is like a square. This is like a rectangle. But this is like a triangle. So the teacher will collect all these shapes and will start identifying and telling the student the name of each of these shapes.
Okay.
I should continue, sir.
Yes, sir. Just continue. Just continue.
I should continue.
Continue.
Okay. In step 3, the teacher will now use these shapes to draw on the board, showing the student how to draw this in their notebook. So I will start with the shape triangle.
Okay. I can see the board. I can see the board. I'm fine. All right, I have seen that. That's very good. Let's move to stage 5. I have seen that. So what is the objective of this, your last stage? What's the objective?
So I didn't hear you, sir.
What is the essence of the last
I didn't hear
activity?
you. To identify the shape, around the environment and even around the school, sir.
Very good.
Even at home.
Okay. So let's go to your plenary.
Should I come?
Let's go to your wrap up.
I didn't hear you. My what?
Move on. Go on. Next stage.
Forward.
Yes, the next stage.
My next step is all right. It's a summary, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's the summary? How do you plan to end the lesson?
Just summarizing the lesson.
Yes. How do you plan to end the lesson? How do you plan to end the lesson? All right, Group C, you have indeed done very well. Given the space of time for you to have come up with this, this is indeed very impressive. This is very impressive coming from you, Group C. For you to have come up with this in a space of how many minutes? You are indeed a wonderful group. You are a wonderful group.
We have 2 months.
So,
should I continue or we should end the class?
don't worry, we have seen you. The total mark for this task is 50 marks. And for Group C already, I'm going to award you 10 marks, specially, apart from the 50 marks.
Group C.
Group C ready.
Oh, Group C.
What is the group present? Is it Group C or Group D? So you have an edge because you have done this today. You will be surprised at the gifts coming for you. So, but you will still have to do the presentation again when others are doing in the first week of presentation. But you have 10 marks ahead of everybody because of what you have done today. This is a beautiful presentation. I've enjoyed my time with you today, everybody. I hope you will have a wonderful holiday, and then we will see, by the grace of Almighty God, in good health, when the school resumes for next time. Thank you for your time.
Let's go.